Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is going to be my review for Arrow Season 3, Episode 5, The Secret Origin of Felicity Smoak. And this episode was amazing. By far the best episode of the season. I loved it, thought it was absolutely fantastic. And the thing I love about this episode was we finally found out so much about Felicity in this episode. This episode also has the best cliffhanger of the season so far. I love the cliffhanger in this episode, which we will definitely talk about. We now know who killed Sara, which we will talk about definitely because it is absolutely huge what happened there. And we also found a lot more about Felicity, which I personally really like because if we think about the characters on the show, we know pretty much all there is to know about Oliver, we know pretty much all there is to know about Diggle, we know a lot about those people. Who we don't know a lot about is Felicity, because she's a newcomer. She joined the show in Season 2, and we didn't know a lot about her. And, this was by far Emily Bett Richards' best performance on the show. She was absolutely amazing in this episode. I loved it, and let's just get to it. So, basically, the episode opens with a montage of training sequences. One is between Laurel and Ted, the guy that's basically helping Laurel train and isn't exactly taking it seriously. And the other is between Arrow and Arsenal. And in Arrow and Arsenal, you can definitely see that Oliver is very concerned about Roy. He's not as tough as he usually is. And we see this flashback sequence between Speedy and Malcolm Merlin, which was cool to see. And basically, Felicity's doing her own training too, in the form of, workout videos. Her training is cut short, however, when Ray Palmer pays a visit to the house, who, I gotta say, was just hilarious in this episode. It was great to see him. He has very big plans for providing renewable energy to Starling City, to Star City, which he would love to share with Felicity if Felicity's mother, Donna, hadn't just barged in out of town. And we meet up with Donna Smoak, basically. Donna Smoak, I love the actress that played Donna Smoak. She is just, completely the opposite of Felicity. She's very rich, she's kind of spoiled, and she's very much Felicity's opposite. She's very flirty, outgoing, technology inept, and Ray leaves it too, but not before giving Donna the latest Palmer technology smartwatch. And she's asking if Ray's her boyfriend and everything. I thought that was really funny. And as the Smokes are catching up, we see a flashback to 5 years ago to Felicity. So, I thought this was very, very good. I definitely really, and the thing, that I love about that Arrow does, one of the things that I definitely love is they rarely do this, is have flashbacks that are not about Oliver. And I really enjoyed that, because in my opinion, the flashbacks that are not about Oliver are actually better and make the show more interesting. For example, last year, the one with Sara and Laurel, with, when we had that episode all about Sara and Nissa. I definitely really appreciate that, and I thought that was really good last year. That was probably one of my favorite episodes of the season last year, and I love that they did this in this one. So we see Felicity, she's coding a hacking virus with her college boyfriend and friend, and she looks very different here. Her hair is black, she has a nose ring, very different than what I would have pictured Felicity look like in college, which I thought was really good. The transformation of her is definitely very well done. So they're trying to hack the university's student loan system, but Felicity pulls plug at the last minute out of fear of the consequences. So Felicity's boyfriend says that they should direct their talents to helping people in larger ways and not pulling selfish pranks against the school. So the next day, they go to discuss the dire consequences of their hacking, and almost on cue, the FBI ambushes and arrests her boyfriend. So that was huge what happened there. I wasn't expecting that. And that was definitely very intense. Something I definitely was not expecting, and I thought was definitely very well done in my opinion. I love that. I thought that was great. So, back in the present, Oliver visits Speedy at her new apartment, bought and paid for Malcolm Merlin. And he's angered by Thea's acceptance of Malcolm's blood money, and Oliver picks a fight with her about having a relationship with the Dark Archer, and she storms out, and the surrounding area plunges into darkness. The rest of Star City goes black as well, sending the city into a temporary blackout, and the culprit reveals itself as Brother Eye, who is this mysterious entity who appears on television screens across Star City as a sinister eye, announcing itself as an organization that will bring its own version of justice to Arrow City. And I thought that was a great way to start the episode. Thought that was really, really, that was crazy, and I definitely love that. So after this happens, Felicity and her mom visit Club Verdant, and Oliver and Diggle, she ends up meeting Oliver and Diggle there, rendezvous with her mom there, and Diggle passes the baby to Donna before Team Arrow retreats downstairs to unravel the Brother Eye mystery. So the Lancers are pursuing the case too, with Laurel acting as the interim district attorney. As everyone digs into the case, Brother Eye makes its next announcement, which is that it plans to target Star City's national bank with a virus that will bankrupt the city and its citizens. So, Star City is very distressed about this. They form a mob outside the bank, which only escalates when Felicity orders a riot squad there, and Arrow and Arsenal are able to back to defuse the riot with a tear gas grenade, but Felicity struggles to dismantle the virus back of the base and reveals that she can't. And I thought this was a great twist, and Arrow's asking, Oliver's asking why, and Felicity reveals that the virus is hers written 5 years ago. So, I thought that was a really good twist. I personally really enjoyed that. And I love when they connect the flashbacks to the main plot in the episode. I thought that was great. So she unveils her past to Oliver as a hacktivist, who's basically, she is delivering civil disobedience by hacking into government databases and revealing their misdeeds. And she says that that's where she wrote the virus with her friends. So that one of the group's members, Myra, may have hatched the virus as Brother Eye, and Arrow leaves to track Myra down. She pretty much thinks that's who it was. So over at Star City Police Headquarters, Captain Lance confronts Laurel on foolishly sending a riot squad to Starling National Bank, and he asks Laurel why she's been acting so distant lately, and we know why, because she's acting distant because Sarah's dead, which, again, there's not much with that in this episode until the very end, which we definitely will talk about, because that was, like, the best twist of the episode, and the best twist of the season by far. But the thing that I definitely, really enjoyed about this, I thought was, definitely really good, was basically seeing, that, he still has no idea what's going on. He still doesn't realize that, what he still doesn't realize is that Laurel, pretty much, isn't telling him the truth, and she needs to tell him what's going on, and I understand why, but, like, she needs to tell him very soon, so she still doesn't tell him and remains tight-lipped about it, and I honestly really felt like she needs to tell him, definitely. So, I mean, she needs to tell him, like, now. She has to. So Thea, meanwhile, is locked out of her new apartment, and Oliver comes to her where they begin to mend bridges broken by Oliver's secrecy. And Oliver wants Speedy, basically wants Thea to reject Malcolm's money, but she's still unconvinced, basically. That's what she is. She's still very unconvinced, and I thought that was definitely very interesting. So later, Oliver and Roy track down Myra at his corporate job, and, they pretty much think that Myra's the one that's doing this. And Myra pleads his innocence, but reveals that he showed off his virus code to a few people years ago. Essentially, anyone could be Brother Eye, and the only other fallible suspect then is Felicity's old boyfriend. However, Felicity says that's impossible because he was very sweet to her. He doesn't seem like a bad guy in any certain way. And basically, she talks about how that would never happen also because he committed suicide in prison before his sentencing. So, there's no way that it could be him. There's no way. She knows this for a fact. So, she's very saddened by opening up his old wounds because she has to see that. And she sulks in her office at Queen Consolidated, and Ray finds her there. And after losing his bid to rename Starling City into Star City, Felicity almost tells Ray what's bothering her, but her mother storms in the office and interrupts, and the two are arguing about their polarizing differences. And Felicity angered her mom's disapproval for being a bookworm, and I thought this was a great scene, what happened here. I thought this was absolutely amazing. Basically, she is completely upset, she's completely upset at her mother, because her mother is very upset with her, because her mother basically doesn't really care much about Felicity. She cares about who she's dating, and, she says, and I love the line Felicity said, she says, "Sorry, I'm not dating, like, a businessman. Sorry, I'm not dressing like a slut." And I thought that was just a great line, because she wants her to, like, dress like a porn star, and I thought that was really great. I love this whole outburst Felicity did, and I thought that was just amazing. That was by far my favorite scene Felicity has done on the show so far. And, I mean, she was just amazing in that scene. She did an absolutely amazing job, and I loved everything about that scene. I thought she did such a great job, and I definitely really loved that about Felicity in that scene. I thought she was just amazing there, and I was very surprised by how effective, Felicity was by this. So Donna leaves. She obviously is very upset at Felicity. She didn't think that it was going to go this way, and she definitely is very upset. So Felicity goes back to the Arrow hideout, trying to trace the Brother Eye hacker. That is her main thing right now. She's noticing her family distractions. Oliver encourages Felicity to go smooth things out with her mother. He wants her to basically try to come to an understanding with her because they obviously do not see eye to eye and he wants them to. So Donna reveals that she actually came, and I thought this was amazing what happened here. She goes to Donna in Felicity's apartment where the two are trying to come to an understanding, and she reveals that she's actually not there just to visit Felicity. She's there because she received a free flight from an unidentified source, and basically, Felicity's like, oh, Mom, someone wanted to see you. But then the two are ambushed and taken hostage by Brother Eye's goons, and the two are taken to Brother Eye's headquarters where they meet the group's leader. And I loved this twist. I thought this was great. We find out that the guy that was Felicity's old college boyfriend is Brother Eye, and I thought that was great. He's far from the ghost that Felicity believed him to be. He actually sent Felicity's mother the free tickets to get her to Starling City, and it turns out the NSA recruited the boyfriend and faked his death, and he was going to reach out to Felicity, but was disgusted with her employment at a major corporation like Queen Consolidated, and he reveals his grand plan to cripple Starling City's finances and rob their finances. I need Felicity to break through the Treasury's firewall, however, and says he'll kill Donna if she doesn't. With no other option, Felicity breaks down the firewall. Now, am I the only one? I don't know if you guys felt this way, but this scene reminded me very much of last year with Moira, Thea, and Oliver. You know, when Slade was, like, holding them hostage, and of course, that was when Moira died. This reminded me very much of that, and I honestly thought Donna was gonna die because of that. Just because the way we were going. I mean, especially because it's November sweeps, I felt like they would do that. I felt like they were going to kill off Donna because they did the same with Moira. If they would have killed off Donna, I don't know. I wouldn't have been as happy with the episode as I was because I loved the way the episode ended, basically. But that's not actually what ends up happening. So I was surprised it didn't end up happening. I thought they were trying to, I don't know if that was an intentional parallel, but I really got that parallel. I felt like, it was very similar to the scene we got with Oliver, Thea, and Moira last year. And I was trying to figure out if they're trying to, if that was supposed to be like a thing, like the same thing here. So Brother Eye leaves to acquire the vulnerable treasury money, and Felicity remembers that Donna still has a smartwatch that Ray Palmer gave her. He gave her that smartwatch, and that accesses the watch's, she's accessing the watch's Wi-Fi. She sends out a distress signal to Team Arrow, and Oliver shows up moments later, like, that was awesome. Like, seriously, I want to get a smartwatch now because of that, because that was awesome what happened there. So Brother Eye and Arrow fight. They're literally just, like, duking out. It's really awesome to watch. And Diggle and Roy handle the rest of the crew outside, and Oliver becomes too distracted by Brother Eye's armada of computerized guns to stop the hacker, but that's hardly a problem, because Felicity gets the drop on Brother Eye, knocks him out, and it looks like these training sessions were actually doing something to her, and I thought that was really awesome what happened there. She was pretty much tied up, and she was in very bad condition there, and I didn't think she was, I thought that was just awesome what happened, and, basically they're okay. So I thought that was amazing. I love that, and I just thought that was great because, again, we found a lot more about Felicity, and I definitely enjoyed that. And while there weren't that many flashbacks in this episode, we know pretty much everything we need to know about Felicity now, which I definitely really love, and I think that's great. So with Brother Eye in custody, Felicity and Oliver discuss how important it is to love family no matter how crazy they drive them. And I think that's a great message because I love that this episode actually taught a message, which is family, even though they drive you crazy, you love them unconditionally, and there's nothing you can do about that. And I definitely really enjoyed that because Felicity and her mom, again, they don't see eye to eye, and she still loves her, and I thought that was really great. So Laurel visits Ted at his gym where she confides that someone killed her sister, and I love that she finally tells him why she's there because, of course, Ted didn't know why she was there. He just thought that she was there because she wanted someone to train her. But she finally reveals why, and I thought this was great. She confides that someone killed her sister and got away with it, and Grant says now he understands how to properly direct Laurel's anger and train her. And I love this line. He asks her if she wants a red or black fighting robe, and she picks black, which this is basically foreshadowing that Laurel is going to become the Black Canary. That's what that is foreshadowing. I thought that was amazing, and I just love the way they're writing Laurel's character this year. I think it's amazing the way they're writing her, and one of the best things of this season is Laurel's development into the Black Canary. I personally can't wait to see her transformation. It's going to be one of the best things this season, definitely, is to see her transform from who she was last year to who she was this year. It's going to be amazing to watch, definitely, to see her transform. That's going to be amazing to watch. So Oliver goes across town, he visits Thea at her apartment, and he agrees that he's going to move in with her on the condition that once she becomes self-sufficient, she will donate all the money of Malcolm's money to charity. So they watch TV together and they make amends, and basically Malcolm says on them from afar, and I thought that was really big what happened there, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what's going to happen there. But it's going to be interesting to see what ends up happening between Oliver and Thea. I'm interested in seeing what's going to happen there, definitely. I think that's really cool. So basically, Felicity apologized to her mother. All seems to be well, and everything seems like it's going to end on a high note, and everything's going to be okay there. However, we get the very end of the episode, which I thought was amazing, and especially because we didn't see a lot of Roy in this episode, that's what made this reveal so good, and this literally made my jaw drop, because we see Roy, and he's in bed, and he obviously is very disturbed by something, and it turns out that he has a dream, and in his nightmare, Roy sees himself murdering Sara with the arrows that killed her, suggesting that Roy is Sara's murderer. Now, this isn't necessarily true. This doesn't necessarily have to be true. This could be Roy basically just, completely going crazy. That could be what's going on as well. This could be just Roy being like, I don't know what to think anymore. Maybe Roy's at a point where he thinks he could do something like that, and he feels that it's possible for him to do that, and that's why he is so, he thinks that he did do it, because he's like so, messed up and going crazy that he kind of believes that he did, or he legitimately did. Now, next week he is going to confess to Felicity, and this really is going to backfire on him in the end if he really did do it. Now, my question is, why would he do it? It kind of does make sense why he did, because as we know, last season he had a lot of problems controlling his anger, and who knows, maybe that's not gone. Maybe he still does have problems controlling his anger. Definitely, I think that he might still have problems controlling his anger, and if that is true, then I think that's really awesome as well, and it definitely does make sense why he is having, these weird theories about himself, because I don't know why Roy would just randomly think about this, definitely. I don't think Roy would randomly think about this. I think he legitimately did do it. Maybe he was not in the right mindset or something. Maybe he was under something. Maybe he was told to do it by someone, but I think that's an amazing twist, and if he really did kill Sara, the show's about to get awesome. Seriously, the show's about to get amazingly awesome, because of course, Roy is, Arsenal is Arrow's sidekick. So if Oliver finds out that Roy killed Sara, Oliver is going to be pissed at him. It's going to be really awesome to watch. There's going to be a lot of tension between the two of them. I think that definitely is going to be very awesome to watch. But overall, guys, I thought this episode was amazing. And I really want to talk about Felicity real quick. I love the development we got with her character in this episode. Because, as I said, the other thing I really want to talk about as well. We got a flashback as to when Felicity changed her look. Basically, when her boyfriend went to jail, that is when Felicity changed her look. And I think that's really good, because it kind of shows her boyfriend was kind of sheltering her, and that she was kind of rebellious because of that. And then she changed her look, and I thought that was great when we saw that. I thought that was just amazing to watch. It wasn't, I wasn't personally expecting to see that, and I thought it was great to see Felicity finally change her look. She's finally happy with herself, and it was great to see that, definitely, because that is the look Felicity has today, and it's great to watch that, definitely, and I really enjoyed that. So, I really like the development we got with Felicity. I loved her mother in this episode, thought that was great. I love the tension between her and her mother. Now, as far as Thea and Oliver go, as far as the two of them go, I'm very interested in seeing what's going to happen there, definitely. I don't know what Malcolm is talking about when he's saying it's on them. That definitely, he's spying on them, as we can tell. So definitely, as we know, there is something else going on here. I think it definitely is going to be interesting to see what happens there. I'm interested in that, definitely. He still doesn't know what's really going on with Thea. He still doesn't know that Thea was with Malcolm all this time. He doesn't realize that, and Oliver just pretty much thinks that this is just Malcolm being a douchebag, pretty much. He doesn't realize that Malcolm is maybe sending this money to her because, maybe he's sending this money to her because he really cares about her. We don't know why he's sending this money to her. Definitely they have something going on. I do trust Ray Palmer now. I don't think he's a bad guy anymore. I think he's a good guy now, and I like seeing that. Laurel, I love the way they're setting up Laurel and Ted. It's going to be really cool to see that. When do you guys think she's going to fully transform the Black Canary? I feel she's going to fully transform the Black Canary. Maybe the mid-season finale, because I'd love to see that. If they do that, that'd be really awesome to watch. I can already tell the mid-season finale is going to be. If Roy really did kill Sara, then it's probably going to be Roy versus Oliver. They're going to have to go through this. And then maybe, like, Laurel turning into the Black Canary, which is going to be really cool to see if that, if that ends up happening. And then Oliver finding out, what the thing about Thea. And then as far as Laurel not telling Captain Lance, she really has to tell him, like, now, because he's realizing that she's becoming very distant, and the more calls he makes to Sara, the more concerned he's going to be. I know that she is concerned about his health. I do understand that, but there comes a point when you need to tell him the truth. You have to. I know it's hard, but you need to, and I know, she needs to definitely realize that it's time to tell him, definitely. But that's it, my review. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys saw this episode. Overall, I thought this was surprisingly the best episode of the season. I wasn't expecting it to be. Honestly, guys, after this episode, Felicity might be my favorite character. I mean, she has had, like, one of the most interesting arcs. Probably the most interesting arc of anyone I've seen on the show. I loved her flashbacks, definitely. I thought her flashbacks... I don't know if her flashbacks might be, like, my favorite flashbacks on the show, but I definitely love when they show flashbacks of people that aren't just Oliver. I think it's really cool. Definitely something I really love. I thought that was, definitely something I really did love. I thought that was, amazing that they showed that. Let me know if you guys saw this episode. Did Roy really kill Sara? I don't know. They are kind of showing it. You don't know. Maybe he's just thinking this because of, what that drug did to him. You never know. He did have problems controlling his anger. Maybe he just is going crazy. Do you actually think he did it? Now, if he tells Sara, if he tells Felicity, then basically he's screwed because she's going to tell Oliver this and it's not going to be good at all. So that's not going to be good for him in the long run. What else did you think of the Felicity flashbacks? I thought those were really well done, definitely. I really enjoyed those. What is Malcolm? What's going on with Malcolm and Thea? Definitely they're hiding something. Do you like the way they're handling Laurel's story? And I think that's amazing. And that's my review. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys in my next video, which will be for American Horror Story, for tonight's episode of American Horror Story Freak Show, which I can't wait for, and I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.